Hello. Today we're going to talk about graphing or plotting the solution to two-step inequalities. Now there's two things we're going to be doing here today. We're going to be solving inequalities, and then we're going to be plotting their answers on a number line. Now, if you need a refresher for how to plot answers to an inequality on a number line, go back and take a look at the video from last week about plotting the solutions to one-step inequalities. The process for plotting the answer is the same, and we'll include a link in the description below. So let's go ahead and dive in. What we need to remember is that you solve inequalities. There we go. You solve inequalities just the same as you would an equation. With one exception. Now, because Mr. F plans poorly, we don't have that exception going on down here, but we'll take a look at an example before we finish up. So let's start with this problem here. We have 2f plus 2 is greater than or equal to 8. Now, there's two ways we can do this. We can solve using this method, where everything we do on one side we do with the other, or if you prefer, if you're more visual, we can create a balance. So on our balance, we're going to have these two boxes. Each one represents an f, and then a circle with 2. And over here, we have a circle with 8. I want to know how many things fit inside each one of these boxes. So I first need to get rid of this 2. So I've taken away 2, but now my scale isn't balanced. So I need to take away 2 over here. And I wind up with 2f is greater than 6. Well, if 2f's are greater than or equal to 6, then if I split it into 2 to get 1f, and I do it to both sides, I get f is greater than or equal to 3. That same process will play out over here on this side. I subtract 2 from both sides, and I get 2f. So real talk, Mr. F just made a really dumb mistake. We get 2f is greater than or equal to 8 minus 2 is 6. See how this here is the same as this here? I divide both sides by 2, and I get f is greater than or equal to 3. So let's plot our answer. We're going to come up to our number line, and we know what we're interested in is 3. So my line is going to start here. And I'm interested in all the numbers that are bigger than 3, because f can be anything that's bigger than 3. So I'm going to draw an arrow this way. Now, here's where the rules of plotting inequalities become important, because I'm going to put a dot here over the 3. But the question is, do I fill my dot in or do I leave it empty? Because it's greater than or equal to 3, or equal to, I'm going to fill my dot in. Let's take a look at this over here. We have 3w minus 9 is less than 6. Let's try the balance first. In my fulcrum here, the thing that a balance rests on, or a lever rests on, is called a fulcrum. I'm going to put in my less than sign. And I've got a 6 over here, and a 3w over here. These boxes represent the variables. Now, some people are going to think I'm going to put a 9 here, but I'm not. Because the first step, always, 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 from now until the end of time, until the heat death of the universe, until there is nothing but dust and ash, is to change subtraction into addition. And so this minus 9 is going to become plus negative 9. So I have a negative 9. I'm going to get rid of this negative 9 by adding a 9. These are gone, but now my scale is unbalanced, so I'm going to add a 9 over here, And I'm going to get 3w. Whoops, that's way not where I want to be writing. 3w is less than 9 plus 6 is 15. I'm going to split this 3w into 3, but if I do that, I need to split this over here into 3, and I'm going to get w is less than 5. If I wanted to solve it algebraically, remember this is the same thing. I would add 9 to both sides and get 3w is less than 15. See how these are the same? Divide by 3, and I'm going to get w is less than 5. Now, we're going to come up to our number line, and you should have heard a difference. It's not just that we're interested in the numbers less than 5 versus greater than. What you didn't hear me say is the phrase equal to. Because our answer is just w is less than 5, my dot is going to be unfilled in. But Mr. F, you promised us an exception. Let's go over that real quick. When you divide or multiply by a negative number, divide or multiply by a negative, you need to flip your sign. So if we had the problem negative 2x plus 1 is greater than 3, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and I'm going to have negative 2x is greater than 2. Let me scroll down just a bit. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. But because I'm dividing by a negative, I'm not going to wind up with x is greater than negative 1. I'm going to flip my sign and get x is less than negative 1. Remember this rule. You're solving the same as equations, but with that one exception. If you're dividing or multiplying by a negative, you flip the sign.